Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and today we're here to look at the 2018 PSE Carbon Stealth. Now, the PSE started producing the Carbon Riser bow 2017, they had the ECS. 2016, maybe even 2015 was the Carbon Riser, but maybe it was 16. This is the latest variation of it for 2018. It comes in two models, the EC and the EF. Now, the difference in the PSE section, one's under the Evolve section, one's under the Velocity section. And when you look at it, you go, what's the difference between these two bows? Because they spec pretty much the same. They both have the Evolve cam system. They both have the same brace height at 6 inches, but they have a different speed. One is 350 and one's 344. Now, one's called the EF and I think the other one's called the EC. The difference is the module which they fit onto the bow, as far as I can tell. One has the fast module and one has the smooth module. So the smooth module, obviously the slower speed, the fast module, obviously the faster speed. Now I want to talk about this bow that PSE have produced. I want to compare it to the last year's model and compare it to the other carbon bows I have. I don't have the new Hoyt Redworks, I think it's called, in stock yet. I do have them on order, so I can't compare that bow to the Stealth, but we'll do our best on this bow. Now, the Stealth last year, the Evolve, when I did the review, it was priced around $2,000, and when I first did the review on the Stealth Carbon Air, when it first came out, it was priced around $2,100, and it came with a bow case. It no longer comes with a bow case. PSE have dropped the price on this bow by about $100 Australian, and we want to look at some of the features. Now, the Evolve cam system, this is the Evolve cam system here, is a yoke system. So a yoke pulls on the cam. So as you pull back on the draw length, basically the string, the yoke extends downwards, and it pulls evenly on the cam to stop cam lean. The module allows draw length adjustment, and that little spot up the top there enables you to adjust the let off of the bow. So depending on which module bow you've chosen, it's either adjustable from 90 to 80% let off, or 75 to 65% let off, depending on the module. The modules can be purchased separately, about 120 Australian dollars. The draw length on this bow, let me get it exact, is adjustable from 25.5 to 31 inches in draw length, not using a bow press. So very simple, just those two Allen keys there, and you just rotate the module to the draw length you require. The letters are from A to L, A being the longest, L being the shortest. Each letter reflects half an inch in draw length. So A being the longest will be 31 inches, B being 30.5 inches. Pretty simple. When you change the stop from 90% to 85%, you are shortening the draw length by a fraction. So what you're doing is basically the big valley you've got in the Evolve cam system, you're just shortening it a little bit before you hit the full valley. The cable guard and the cable roller is new for 2018. Well, the roller's the same. The cable guard itself is cut out here to encourage the cable guard to flex, and you can change the angle of this if you're not happy with it being at the one, I'm going to call it the 1 o'clock angle. Basically, I don't touch anything with the bow, I just shoot the bow. The yoke system here is metal. If you do derail the bow, which is torquing the bow, this will probably hit the cams and break the cams. So bear that in mind, so don't derail the bow. Shoot the bow with arrows. The limb pockets themselves are metal with the wedge lock system here. And what the wedge lock does, it's a little V system in the limb pocket which pushes against these limbs and pushes them up against the limb pocket here. With the PSE, every limb is a different poundage, and that's clearly marked on the limb there. They've got to be in the correct order to stop cam lean. So with this bow here, the top left-handed is 135, the top right-hand is 140, bottom left is 137, and bottom right is 139. So On both cases, the lighter limbs are on this side here. So if you were to replace the limbs, they've got to go back in that order. Right, so the fittings, high quality fitting there. They fit into a little bolt there. That stops it basically when you wind out the bow, this will rotate. So you don't get the threads stripping if you wind it out too far. I'm going to guess these are titanium fittings here to reduce the weight. I think the weight on this bow is 3.2 pounds, making it one of the lightest carbon bows and one of the lightest bows in production. And we're going to go through the other carbon bows. Now, one of the first things when I saw this bow, I thought, oh my God, what have PSE done? And the reason I said this is the black finish here. It's a black paint. Now, in the PSE catalogue, it is clearly a carbon finish. Looking like that there. This is the 2017 model. In 2017, I sold a stack of these bows. And I'm going to say 95% were black because people liked the carbon finish. Now, black is a popular colour. There's no question of it. I sell about as many black bows as I do camo, fractionally more camo. But to me, this bow, even though it's a carbon bow, the paint finish detracts from the carbon, so I'm probably going to sell more of these in camo. And in fact, the first one I sold this year for 2018 was camo. Now, the riser itself, the other carbon bows on the market, I'm going to discuss as we go through them. This is meant to have a foam inlay and then be wrapped in carbon, making it extremely light. This riser feels more solid than the last year's Carbon Air. It has multiple sight pockets here. The grip feels quite wide. And one of the reasons why you want a carbon bow, one's the weight, because it's nice and light. It's meant to absorb more shock. It's meant to be stronger. And also the riser itself won't get hot or cold. So if you're hunting in a cold environment, the carbon won't get cold. So your hands won't be kind of biting away. The way the stabilizer works is the same as last year. It's a thread which then bolts in the back with a carbon stop on the back. So overall, the bow itself, to me, doesn't look as good as last year. But that's up to you to define whether you like the look of this versus that. And I never know. When I first look at a bow and I first review a bow, I go, is this something I want? Now, it took me a while to work out whether I wanted a Carbon Air, and I did. Finally, I had to debate whether the price warranted it, and I haven't shot this bow. My first indication of this bow is that I wouldn't buy one. And I haven't shot it yet. I love the Evolve Cam system. But because of the price is quite high, I'm like, I'm not certain about this bow and about the look of this bow. So I want to talk a bit about that, and maybe my opinion will change by the end of the review. So going back to this is the 2017 model, and I kind of like the look of this. It was nice and light. I think it looked cool. I thought it looked like a high-tech motorbike. Up against the Hoyt. I'm going to grab the Hoyt now. Now this is the Hoyt Carbon Bow. Now the weight of this is about 4 pounds. It's an aluminium riser wrapped with carbon, and this bit from there upwards is aluminium, and from there downwards is aluminium. So what you got in the middle here is aluminium tubing wrapped in carbon. To me, this looks kind of cool, and the red works for 2018 basically mirrors this look, and I think it's a nice look. I thought the PSE looked a bit when I say techie, it kind of looked more modern age. And my overall opinion of the 2017 model, even though I thought this looked good, I did sell a lot more Carbon Airs than the Hoyts. The Carbon Air was probably a little bit cheaper, and I think a lot of people bought it because it was lighter. But people actually like the weight. I think in sales numbers, the PSE Carbon Air outsold the Hoyt in my shop 10 to 1 at least. And I think part of the reason for what that was defining the difference in the Hoyt carbon riser versus the aluminium riser. The bow weighed about the same, where the PSE, you're like, well, this is almost a pound lighter than the machine riser, so you're paying that extra money for a pound lighter. And people who are not price sensitive go, well, it's a better product, I'll buy that. Now this is one of the other carbon risers, and in fact I think it looks similar to, in shape, to the PSE. And I'll just put them over. Now the clear indication here is the difference in the limbs. You'll see the Win Carbon CS, the limbs are not under tension. The angular limb is nowhere near the angular limb on the PSE. But the overall design of the riser is very, very similar. Now, the Win carbon riser is a solid carbon riser. So it's carbon all the way through. So if you cut this, it's complete carbon like their recurves. Price point on this, about $1,200. Up against $1,900 for the PSE. Now, this bow is not a performance bow like the PSE. The PSE is either 344 feet per second or a 350. This is about a 320 feet per second bow. It doesn't have the compression limbs. It does have a unique cam system that a lot of people have not liked because there's a little bit of cam lean on these bows. And if you look at the reviews on my Facebook page, there's a guy down there who had a shot at me because of the cam lean on the bow. Because he wasn't happy with the first one because it had cam lean. And I said, you buy another one, it's going to have cam lean. And he did. Had cam lean, and then, yeah, basically it all went south. I mean, he got his money back on both bows, but I'm stuck with, $1,200 bows in my shop. The debate was about postage, who had to pay postage for the return of the product, and I told him not to buy the second product, but he assured me he wanted to. So anyway, so there's that bow. Now this is the Martin Featherweight. It's the same as the Bowtech Carbon Bow, identical riser. I'm going to say made in the same plant. Now this is advertised as a carbon bow, but from everything I'm told, it's not really a carbon bow, and people are going to say, what is it? It's more of a plastic kind of material in here, so it's not an expensive material. It's more of a something so I think it's a foam frame, and they do some sort of process to put it over. But this riser cannot take heavy poundage or strong poundage or high poundage force limbs on a bow. So the Bowtechs you'll see and the Martins, they don't have a lot of pressure on the limbs. Basically this riser is not, the PSE riser is, I believe they say 10 times stronger than their machine risers. This riser is not. It's a nice light bow, and the price point of this bow is far less than the PSE, probably costing in Australia $800 odd. But it's not a performance bow. And to me, like the things that are different, obviously the sight here, you can see here it's a bolt-on type of arrow rest system. The stabilizer there with the string stop built in, and that's because the frame of the riser can't basically manage the strength the way the Carbon Air or the Carbon Stealth does, where it's actually all bolted into the riser. So to me this is clearly a nicer design riser, but it's almost 2.5 times the price of the bow. Now when you're looking at a carbon bow or the Stealth as a bow, the reason you're looking at this is because of the evolved cam system. It's a nice light bow. It's got the best cam system that PSE produce. So the other bows you're going to compare this to when you're looking at a new bow is going to be the Expedite and the Evolve. This is the Evolve 35, So 35 inches axle to axle. The Stealth is only available in 33 inches axle to axle. In 2017, PSE produced two models, a 32 and a 35 inch model. 35 for more target 3D shooting, 32 for obviously more hunting. For 2018, going 33 inches, they've kind of gone in the middle. And to me, it detracts from the product. I like the option of the 35 to the 32. Anyway, the Evolve 35 inches, the Evolve cam system, but the bow's physically heavier, but also cheaper. This is the Expedite from new for PSE. It's a machine riser, $1,600, and it sells for around $1,600. Physically heavier. I think the bow weighs about 4.5 pounds, about the same speed as the Evolve cam system. So that's what you're up against. The price point on this is about $1,650. The Carbon Stealth, $1,900. So you're going to be paying an extra $250 for that, for the carbon riser. So in summary, the other bow I would look at when looking at the top of the range PSE would be the $1,100 PSE, which has the Evolve cam system. The bow weighs 4 pounds. They've just renamed it. It was called the React. It's $1,100. Got a 7-inch brace height, 330 feet per second with the Evolve cam system at $1,100. But if you're looking at this bow, you're looking at top of the range stuff. So you're really going to compare it to the other carbon bows on the market. And the question is, how does this bow shoot compared to last year's bow? So some things on this I want to mention. The sticker itself looks quite good, but it does protrude from the riser fractionally, so I would have liked that more inside the riser. I think this writing here is kind of cool. The strings are live wire. So overall, it's not a bad bow, but I just feel like it's lacking on the overall finish of a $2,000 bow. And I think for this year, probably carbon will outsell black. But it all gets down to the shooting, and we're going to shoot it. And I've only sold one, and there's only been one shot in my shop. And the customer liked the way it felt. So the next video, we're going to shoot this bow, put some sights on it, and see if it's worth the $1,900 that PSE have pitched this bow at. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. I hope that's helped you look at the new Carbon Stealth, and yeah, just bear in mind the color is not what's shown in the brochure. Thank you very much. Bye.